So basically, I was at work recently because I used to work as a quality analyst for a company. Then there's been a collective dismissal and I'm not working for this company anymore. And our boss, to ease tensions, because in that moment I just told us about the collective dismissal or the closure of the project, decided to play a game. At the time, of course, no one thought that was a great idea because we all had our minds on other things, like, for example, finding another job or, this kind of stuff. But what came out of this game actually made me think and laid the foundation for this video. To describe it super quickly, the game consisted in writing like a positive adjective about our other colleagues, that in my case were the other quality analysts from the French team and the Italian team, and then commenting all together on these little notes. So I thought that it would be like an obvious and uninteresting thing, but in the end of the round the adjectives were quite fitting and interesting in my opinion. Some people were defined as motivating, some other people as empathetic, some other people as reflective, and even if these things are not like that deep, they were quite fitting for the people they were assigned to. So what did I get? Communication, I don't know if you can see it or not, and flexibility. So this thing didn't strike me from the point of view of what I think of myself, but it hit me from the point of view of not always knowing what other people think of you, basically. Because we live in a world where we don't spend like most of our time, or even least of our time, complimenting each other or giving each other like genuine pats on the back, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately because I really think that if done honestly and selflessly, it's very important for people, like the fact that their qualities are recognized by the surrounding environment, you know. And unfortunately, again, the fact that we feel increasingly isolated is palpable in these years, but that's another story. I'm leaving it for another video, maybe. So back to communication and flexibility. So basically I've been told that I'm a person that is particularly good at making things that seem difficult look simple in the end and easy to understand. That I can talk to anyone regardless of their preparation, or my preparation, and that I'm a person capable of finding like alternative solution, of thinking creatively, and basically that makes me flexible as a person and as a worker. So thinking about it, these things are really important, and I usually take these two factors for granted, but if I had to be honest, they help me a lot, both with my current job, with my personal projects, when I was working as a freelance photographer, like in Italy, with clients' work, with everything, I think. Because being flexible and having like a good communication are things that sometimes allow us to go beyond limitations and to get in direct contact with the people we are working with. So as an example, I studied visual arts, I studied photography, video making, all this kind of stuff. I never studied and I never liked scientific subjects, mathematics, statistics, programming, all this kind of stuff. At the same time, in a few years here in Lisbon, I managed to obtain and maintain positions like the one that I currently have as a quality analyst, and therefore to work with numbers, Excel, data, all this kind of stuff. And this is because in addition to the basic knowledge that I had to learn, I put first of all the ability to talk to others and especially to listen to others and value what they were telling me in the end. So another example more related to photography. When I worked as a freelancer in Italy or in the works that I did here in Portugal, the commissioned works, like from time to time, I never had millionaire budgets. I never had the latest equipment or this kind of stuff to realize the cinematic fantasies of my clients, basically. But with a bit of adaptability, with a direct communication on what could be done and what could not be done with given resources, I've almost always managed to bring home the result. Now, have these two skills given me what I wanted, for what concerns work? Absolutely not, because I will really love to work with what I like, with what I feel like I'm good at, like photography, visual arts, videography, all this kind of stuff. The point is that without these two things, I couldn't even like dream about getting closer to what my dreams are. And I am sure that if one day I will be able to make it come true, like this dream of mine to work with this kind of stuff, these two things, communication and flexibility, will be kind of the basis of what I'm capable to do. Because before any detail, peculiarity, appearance or surface, there must be a basis. There must be the fact that we, before being workers or professionals, are people who talk to other people. And if we don't know how to communicate or put ourselves in the other person's shoes, or find solutions outside the beaten track, probably the problem is bigger than we think, and not only work related. So the final advice is, if you want to be respected and taken into consideration, respect and take into consideration, and yeah, you wouldn't have anything to lose.